Hey, welcome to Hit Points Gaming. We are here with an update. It's been a long time. Chris, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Not too bad. How about
Corey, how you doing?
yourself?
I'm
I'm
doing fine.
great.
I'm doing fine. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
here. I'm
doing.
glad to see you guys. It's been a while, so I'm glad we can do this virtually.
Yeah, the current state of the nation has made it so we can't really get together. And I get that for everyone's safety. I think it's a good idea. And, I think it would have been a little bit different if this happened at a different time. But mostly we're here just to talk to you guys about what everyone's been up to in the Hit Points Gaming crew. And, personally, I've been playing some games. For me, my life hasn't changed too much. But I would like to start with Corey. Corey, tell us about what's been going on, what you've been playing, and all that good stuff.
Well, I wish I could be playing a lot more, but with a 5-month-old, I can't play many games. So there are a few things that I will highlight to tell you guys. So before this really started happening, at the very beginning, Andrea and I were playing a game called Wingspan. For those of you who are aware of it, I believe it was last year. It was a big hit. I didn't really get involved into it till just recently. Chris, I'm pretty sure you're aware of it. Doug, you are like bird watching. It's a crazy theme, and you're building like this reservoir to like not capture these birds, but have birds come and settle. And you're like the birds are laying eggs to get victory points. It seems really weird. It's like an engine building game with like all these unique cards of birds and whatnot. And it is fabulous. Just
Really?
the scoring mechanisms that are in the game. There's so many different strategies and ways that you can collect points. It's really great. Andrea's really good at it. So to find a game that like we can kind of go back and forth and like head to head with that she wants to keep playing is definitely a win. So we were doing that when Colette was a little bit younger, and we were able to just kind of hold her and play. But that quickly changed. I think, as you guys are aware, kids change like every few days. There's a new pattern. There's something. So like, I think our games, and you'll see that our games also change. So we didn't have time to play Wingspan in between the feedings or whatnot. So that quickly went away. And we just really stopped gaming for a long time. As you see on our channel, we really didn't put out a lot more content. It was really Chris and Becky. That's when they picked up like the Friday Night Lights, and they were coming out with content. So I definitely appreciate you guys doing that. But yeah, our gaming really slowed down until recently, when we started playing like really late at night. This other game that I want to showcase is called Everdell. So this is a game that came out on Kickstarter maybe about 2.5 years ago, and I didn't back it. It is a worker placement game. You are trying to prepare for the upcoming summer, gathering food and whatnot. And you kind of have like this community of like little critters, right? So it's really cute. The art's really good. Andrea loves worker placement, and it came back out on Kickstarter. I backed it because of the really good reviews that it had. And there's a few different expansions for it, and again, phenomenal. It was one of the games where the artwork, and yeah, everyone talks about like artwork in games. Oh, this great artist here. It looks great. This actually makes sense. Just like the art of the cards, and like there's a little mouse, like farming berries on the farm. And it's just, it looks really well done. It's something that I really want to play with more than, of course, 2 players. All these games I'm mentioning are more than 2 players, but like, I want to see what it's like to have more people. Like Chris, when we played Stone Age, really cool game with 2 players. And when we played with you as the 3rd player, it totally changed the game.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. So,
now that Everdale, that's what we saw at PAX Unplugged.
Yes, that's correct.
Like the water expansion or whatever.
Yeah. So I played with the new water expansion. It has like this giant like tree. It's pretty cool, but with all the expansion, like that gets removed. But like, actually, we might have some images of it that we either put out on Instagram or whatnot when everything's like laid out. It looks really nice. It's just a really nice looking game, and it was a lot of fun. So we were doing that for a while. And then we stopped playing games, right? For a while. I put Everdell away, and this is probably maybe the last 2 weeks. We couldn't get a game to the table. So I went back to my collection of games and figured like, what could we do during our downtime? And we did select this. Now, this is a game that came out maybe like 3 years ago, okay, by Fantasy Flight. I wish that they did more of these, but I think they only did one and done. And it's called Legacy of Dragonholt. All right. So this is a narrative game. There's a bunch of stories. You're a group of characters, like an RPG. You create a class and a race, and you get skills and whatnot. You have certain stamina points, but you read the bunch
D&D?
Yes.
Okay.
Think of D&D, but like
Super
choose
light.
your own adventure.
Okay.
So you have story books, and you read a passage, and you say, okay, do you have these skills? If you do, you can do these options, and you pick that. You go to the next passage and whatnot. You can take damage and whatnot. You make choices on where to go, and it's something that we can just do while Colette's up and playing with her, so whatnot. Like one of us is just reading the book, and we can just make decisions and we progress. So we didn't really get that far a while ago because we were playing actual games rather than just reading. And now it feels like all we can do is read. So
interesting.
To find a something that we can do together while Colette's being crazy or wants all of our attention, we can actually get through something. So I'm really excited to go back and try this out. And it takes place in the realm of Terranoth. Are you guys familiar with that?
Nope, not even close.
Doug, you are.
I am.
Descent and Rune Wars, Runebound. So that whole realm is where this takes place. So it's really cool to like some of those characters and whatnot in this game. So definitely enjoy that. Before jumping over to like some things that I watch and whatnot, I'm sure, Chris, you're going to touch on some TV shows. The last two games I want to bring up really is about the two games I'm looking forward to playing once this is all over. Okay. And they're each with one of you. So the first game is Clank Legacy, right? We only got to play one game of this together, Chris. Chris, myself, Braden, and Andrea, we played one game here. It's supposed to be like the best Legacy game out right now. And again, if you know our channel, you know what we like to play. I like to play a lot of Legacy games. So I'm interested in going back and actually doing this. Chris, you mentioned doing it over Skype the other day. I think that's going to be a little difficult because I'm not shuffling your cards all the time.
Do you want to play or not?
You guys got to use. You guys got to do Tabletop Sim, man. I'm sure they have a Clank Legacy pack.
Yeah, let's talk about Tabletop Simulator for a little bit because I know Gabe really wants us to get into that.
I have used it before.
Okay.
Mostly because I was trying out, the early days of virtual reality. I'm like trying out different things, and like Tabletop Sim, I'm like, that sounds crazy. Like at the time I expected everyone to get a headset, but I don't expect everyone to have a headset now. I was like, it'd be nuts to be looking around at each other and physically rolling dice, because it's not like when you're playing. So for instance, I play Monopoly. I'll try to make this really quick. I'm playing Monopoly on Tabletop Sim, and you roll the dice, and it's not like a video game version. It's not like you roll the dice, the numbers pop, your character automatically moves. You gotta move them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not just in VR. Even if you had a mouse, like you have to move the pieces and actually play it. So yeah, people could cheat as much as they wanted.
That's cheating in Monopoly.
Know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could like I was being a total troll. Like I would just reach across the table and grab somebody's money, but do it slowly on purpose, and they'd be like, hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So to play other board games maybe that we would play like that would actually be pretty awesome, I think. It doesn't matter how you played it. I don't think having VR is a necessity to do something like that, but I think just to be able to play the game in that environment would be kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah. I will say it's going to open up to be an option if this goes a lot longer. The best thing about board games is actually getting together with people, right? Because we could just play video games. We can play video games, remotely and whatnot. I really want to be able to get together with somebody and play a game. But, we'll see. Because my number one game that I'm looking forward to getting back together and playing, Chris, do you know what it is? You have no idea.
Clank Legacy.
Nope.
Don't say Twilight Imperium, because I don't want to play that. I don't want to win again.
Doug, do you have an idea?
I'm hoping it's Twilight.
It's a small box. It's definitely World of Warcraft, the trading card game.
What is that? I can't see it.
King's Dilemma.
Oh, that game's so fun, man. It's so
I
fun.
don't even know what this is.
Dude,
Okay, so Chris,
so
do you want to
fun.
explain it a little bit?
So Chris, I'm going to explain it because my explanation is going to be way more funny, I think. King's Dilemma is basically a bunch of jerks sitting around a table discussing what's happening to all these kingdoms, right? So at the beginning of a round, I'll try to do like a quick playthrough. At the beginning of a round, it's like, yo, we're running out of food. What do we do?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, right. It's like, it's like, what do we do? You have a choice. We can go out and maybe raid somebody to get food, which would bring like our money up and our military strength down. There's like meters to balance. And then it could be like, or we could just grow all this crappy, cheap gray wheat and let all the peasants eat that crappy stuff, right? And, in that case, our money stays up, you know what I mean? And the morale goes down because the food sucks. And I don't want to ruin the game for any, because that is a situation. I'm not going to ruin what happens there, but it's those kind of decisions, and it's all just talking about it, and everyone has their own agendas they're trying to meet secretly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So with those meters on the board, people are trying to land them in certain places. So somebody might be being a jerk and wanting people to eat all this crappy food, but it's really just because they're trying to get the meters to be in a certain way. You know what I mean?
Is it like you have certain, like you have to have morale at 4 for you to win, and I need to have the richness at 6 for me to win kind of deal? Is it like a hidden objective?
Yeah. So it's like in between, there's different sections, and you have to have your morale in between those two sections. So but between mid and high, between, mid and low, or like right in the middle, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's just the most fun, and we couldn't have had a better group to play it with. It's me, Corey, Sam, Jermaine, and Leon are playing it. It is a great group.
Yeah.
We have very different, like, I'm playing the game and I'm not always trying to win. I'm like, yo, this is just wrong. Like, you can't do this stuff to people. And they're just like, I don't care. You know what I mean? So it just creates kind of a fun dynamic.
Yeah. Think of like Game of Thrones, and we're all Littlefinger of a house. Right. And we're all trying to like position ways that like all these agendas come up. Again, we choose different paths, and that's going to affect, of course, our overall kingdom. We're all like, we all serve the king, but like we want our own house to really be the best. And the way that you get to vote is basically kind of like poker, where you have like these certain stacks or influence chips that you can like, you basically vote yay or nay on something. Do you want it to pass or do you want it not to pass? And we can like vote based on the amount of power, but then like it goes around the table, and you can like sustain to make more money to kind of have a future vote. So it's kind of like this power struggle all throughout, and we're like shaping our kingdom. And there's like a ton of envelopes. There's like 100 different envelopes that you open that keep adding more cards to the game. So again, it's a legacy style. It's the first time they've done a game like this. I believe they're going to be doing another one in this setting, so it's doing really well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to just going back to this and just continuing like our story and our kingdom. It was just, Doug said it's just the right group of people are playing this game. And, I considered taping it, but some of the conversations that we have, it would not fit on our channel.
I was down to tape it, but they are not, we would have to have a disclaimer. It is not family friendly stuff. Not necessarily just what we're saying either. Like some of so some of the content in the game is very bad. So can't be throwing that stuff out there. Maybe we need to have a disclaimer on those type of videos.
Yeah, so that's it. I'm just looking forward to get back together to play those two games. In the meantime, I'm just reading Legacy of Dragonholt. So, and video games, Hunt Shodown, still loving it, and Final Fantasy is what I'm in the middle of playing right now. So,
I would have. You know what, man? I never played all the way through 7. I played a very little bit of it.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say I'm being frugal. I'm kind of being a little bit of a jerk when it comes to me buying games now. And I'm just like, I don't want to pay $60 for Midgar. You know,
yeah, me either.
The same way for the game Grand Blue Fantasy Verse is a fighting game based on anime. Looks fantastic, plays fantastic. Not paying $60 for 11 characters with 2 season passes announced before release. No, like I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So somebody's got to vote with their dollar. Might as well be me. might as well be me.
Well, you know, it's a game. It's going to come down in price over time. That's when you pick it up. You know, it's still very large. I'm like 20 hours deep into it. I'm maybe halfway, maybe not yet. So, you know, the length of the game's definitely there. And I do want to go through it, you know, another time because you unlock like hard mode. The one really good thing about it, and I'm glad we're stuck on this for a moment, because I don't buy many games. To your point, Doug, I don't go out and buy many games right now anymore, either because of board games or I just don't have much gaming time. I try to get the most out of my games, like Death Stranding. I know you started that. You know, I wanted to go through and platinum that game.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Right? So yeah, I'll leave that for you. But with Final Fantasy, there's really no missable trophies. There's nothing that like, oh, I need to make sure I look this up to get it the right way, or else I have to sink in another 80 hours or whatever. You can go back. Once you beat, you can go back and chapter select and kind of play through it again, which is cool with me. So like I'm playing the game not looking ahead because I'm not afraid of missing something. So I'm enjoying the story at my pace, you know?
Right.
And I really haven't played a game like that in a very long time. That's just my play style. I want to try and get stuff, but this is kind of refreshing. I'm doing it at my own pace and whatnot, a chapter here, a chapter there, and definitely enjoying it. So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Chris, let's talk about what you've been up to, watching, gaming, board gaming. I see you got a baby gate there, so you are clearly in full father mode. What's going on?
This is my office right here. This 4x5 area. I've got 2 computers here. I've got a bunch of stuff. So this is where I've been working from home. Let's see. All right. So yeah, I want to talk about what I've been watching. You guys haven't really touched that. We watched a lot of The Tiger King, obviously, or everyone's watched that. Have to watch that. It's a great documentary if you're not even into it, but it's a really interesting documentary about, you know, some people. I thought it was very cool. My wife thought it was very good too. It was really interesting.
I heard about Tiger King. I haven't watched it, but Gabe told me that I think in the 2nd or 3rd episode, there's a character who reminds him of Andrea.
Okay, I don't know that.
Okay. Just wanted to know. We all know who Andrea is, so if that person's in Tiger King,
it's going to make you watch it? Yeah, sure. It's a show, but it's a documentary, and I think it's done really well to show all of these characters, and they're people, you know, like they're real people, and the overall arching thing of, you know, owning big cats.
Okay.
You know, is it I love having them and protecting them? Is it I'm trying to make money off of them? There's a lot of arches, and when you take a step back from what the show, it's very interesting. I learned a lot from the show.
See, this is interesting for you to even talk about this show this way, because anyone else who talks about this show, all you hear is Carol Baskin. That's all you hear. No. You know what I mean? Carol Baskin.
And that's cool. Like, I mean, if that's what's going to make the show be awesome, you know, and be this grand hit, that's one thing. But I think you really need to look at how they filmed it and how they did their education on it. It's really interesting, and they did a lot of work on making sure that the audience is aware of what's going on. Besides just this Joe Exotic and trying to kill her husband kind of thing.
Right.
Staying with Netflix, I'm still watching it right now. I'm watching The Most Attractive Mom on Netflix in Raising Dion.
Oh, Raising Dion, yeah. She's
very good show. Very good show.
No, it's not. It's not.
You watch her. It's a really cool show. I'm 8 episodes in. I'm just starting to watch the 8 episode. It's about a kid whose dad, Michael, what's his name?
His name is Michael
Jordan.
It is Jordan, like right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Jordan? I don't know.
I think so. I think it is. It's a good looking dude.
Michael B. Jordan, right? Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
He's a character in it, and his son has superpowers. And you watch the show and you learn about how he's got superpowers, and it's really cool. I'm really liking it. It's like this kid has superpowers, and how does he have them? He doesn't know how to control them, and it's about how teaching him to be a superhero. The mom is super hot. I think it's really cool. I like the story.
We'll concur.
I like the characters. I like the dynamic. It's a little silly that some of the like Pat and the mother Nicole. It's a little weird, but I'm enjoying it. I hope they continue on with it.
I will say about that show is, I did watch the whole thing.
Okay.
And you haven't yet, right?
No,
okay.
I have not finished it.
I enjoyed the show, okay, but I didn't think it was super great. It's just one of those things where characters just make a lot of bad decisions all the time, and you're like, come on, you know what I mean? That happens on TV shows though. That would be my only gripe, really. I love Pat.
I love Pat.
He's the best
character. I don't know
character.
where he's at right now, but he's a cool character. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that show does, turn out to be, in a certain light, one of the greatest I've seen ever, like at a specific point. So you'll get there. Yes, I'm doing my absolute best to just not hint at anything. But there's a spot where it's like, I literally was like, oh my God. And I couldn't believe it. And
it's rated G, so you can watch it with your family.
Yeah, it is rated G. And they do a really good job of having a show with superpowers that's rated G, I think.
Yes. I didn't know it was rated G till today. And I was like, they don't curse in this. And they touch on some political things, but they don't go too deep. And it's like, as an adult, I understand what you're talking about. But as someone at a G audience, it goes, whatever, I think it's really good.
I'm a good, not great on Raising Dion.
Okay.
What's next?
Next up, I finally watched Star Wars. I did not want to watch it in the movie theater because I think it was not very good. I'm just waiting for Corey to say he agrees it wasn't a good movie so I can move on. Thank you. Okay?
It was horrendous. It should just not exist. It should not exist.
Okay.
It's such a shame because Clone Wars right now is incredible. Mandalorian was incredible. And it's just a shame because all of that is such great filler and bringing these characters back to life. And you just know that the ending is just such garbage. It should just not exist.
All right, so my brother is a massive Star Wars fanboy to a fault. Okay? We'll defend a lot of things about Star Wars that a lot of people don't agree on. We went to see that movie together, and we came out of that movie, and during the movie, and we could not believe some of the atrocities that they committed in that film. And we went in under like a review, a review about there was too much fan service. I say I'm not against fan service. There was too much fan service. I'm not gonna sit here and have a podcast about Star Wars, but it was not good.
I just wanted to bring it up. Yeah.
I don't care if anyone has seen it. They totally went back on the entire middle movies thing of anyone could be a hero, right? Completely threw that out the window. I did not get, Chris, I did not get to see a lightning battle between two Palpatines. Okay? That is insane to me. That they let someone else have Force lightning and I didn't get a battle out of it. But that's Star Wars, right? Every good enemy just gets thrown away. Look at Phasma. Phasma has this glorious suit. Got beat twice by Finn in the same way Darth Maul did, right? Total hoax.
Maul had a great fight. There's great fights except for these new ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Beat both of them and then
it's
just
like
got
boss fights in video games where you just kind of the boss fight, you have it and you just hit a critical point and they're done.
Yeah.
I agree.
I didn't like that. Basically they were like, hey, Palpatine's like, I want you to kill me and then you will become the dark side, and then she kills him, and nothing happens.
Yeah,
she killed
is the same character. Who this is my biggest point of this. This character grew up in the desert. Okay, she grew up in the desert.
We need to change topic. We need to change topic.
Okay. There was a good part. That was Palpatine's lightning into the sky was so awesome. Like, this is my power. And he still does this. Right? Just bam. And I was like, yo, he's so strong. And then, man, Rey when he did it to Rey, it was like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not strong anymore. Whole Starfleet can't get you. And, okay, well, keep it going.
And, we can continue this because we didn't mention this at the beginning, right? We might do a live stream next week. And if someone wants to go in depth in Star Wars, we can talk about it.
Yeah. When are we doing it? Want to say right now? Is it next week? What day? Day and time.
Corey said not Saturday, so Sunday maybe? You want to do Sunday?
No, Saturday I can do.
Let's do Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday at 10 o'clock we could start.
May 2nd, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to be playing something, right?
We're going to be playing a new hit game. All the kids are going to be wanting to play it.
All the kids and old people are going to be wanting to play it. Everybody wants to play it.
So if you want to talk about Star Wars or anything else, we talk now before May 2nd, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on. We'll post a link on our Twitter and our Instagram account, but I think we're going to be doing YouTube gaming, correct, Douglas?
Yeah, we can do it on YouTube. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you can check us out there. But I'm going to get back into this. On Friday Night Lights, we got a copy of Caves of Ruwenzori. It's a really cool game. It's a tile placement game. There's 81 tiles in the game, and depending on how many players you play with, you distribute those 82 tiles between them. So it's always 82 tiles, and it's 41. If you have 2 players, then you split that up. I think it's up to 5 players. It's 4 or 5. I can't remember. It's 4 actually. Very fun, cool game. They sent us a preview copy. We played 2 players. It was a lot of fun. We had a problem filming it 3 times, so we had to play it 3 times. And it wasn't a problem. We were like, oh, we got to play this game again tomorrow. And it was like, yeah, I really got to be playing that game. It's fun. Cool. But it's much cooler. It seems like it'll be a much more fun game with more players because you're trying to place your tiles, and then your last tile, you place the exit. So, but you can, you put your tiles on the board, so your tiles might move into mine, and your tunnels can intersect, and I can put down things to block you. So with more players, there's just chaos that it would ensue. I'm looking forward to playing that once we can get out of the house.
Okay.
This week on Friday Night Lights, we're going to be playing Patchwork. That's something that Corey and Andrea let us borrow. So that's another tile placement kind of thing. I don't really know too much about it yet. I haven't read the rules. So expect that this Friday, the May 1st.
Cool.
That's it for board games for me. I'm gonna jump right into video games. I've been playing a lot of indie games. And Metroidvania games, I've been really wanting to play something with a controller because I'm just a PC person, so I wanted to feed that hunger. I played Chasm.
Okay.
It's a very basic Metroidvania game. It adds nothing to the equation, nothing different. Just very fun, very cool. You get to World 2, you get your boots, and you have to go back to World 1 to use the boots to get up to here to a treasure chest that has a diamond in it. It was a lot of fun. I liked it. I played James. What were you gonna say? James recommended. You might like it, and I did. It wasn't great, but it was very good. I think I put maybe 8 to 10 hours into it. If you're into a Metroidvania game looking for something to fill those few hours, it's good.
I always have to look up stuff that you talk about. So that's what I'm doing. I'm Googling on my radar. Oh,
CHASM.
Yeah. This is why I don't know about it.
Right.
It
Thanks.
was a pretty popular game. I think it was pretty good. But again, it doesn't add anything new to the Metroidvania equation.
Okay.
But something that you definitely do know about, this is the next game that I played after I beat Chasm. I went into Dead Cells. I beat that a few times. I asked James, hey, James, do you think this is good? He's like, you'll love it, but you're not going to want to play it too much. And he was absolutely right. Because the game, have you guys played it?
I have not, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Right. So Dead Cells is a roguelike game. I love roguelike games. I wanted something to play in controller. You find weapons and armor and all this stuff. You don't know, like shields, but You find stuff as you play the game, and as you play the game, you can find money, and when you die, you bring the money back and you buy stuff to unlock forever, blah, blah, blah. But the game is like, I think it's 5 levels. It's about an hour to beat it. And there's different levels of difficulty that you unlock as you progress. But once you beat the game, you start over again with like some new stuff, new year, and you can increase the difficulty. But it's always the same level. So okay. I beat it like 3 or 4 times, and after that, it was just like I'm tired of level 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. So that's interesting that you say that, because there's a game called Bloodstained Circle of the Moon. It's the 8-bit one, not the one, not the big one. Circle of the Moon. And that game you can beat and get different playthroughs. You know, like if you get all the partners and win, if you kill all the partners and win, if you ignore all the partners and win. But I found that gameplay in that game to be so solid that I really did just keep going and play it over and over, because it was just it was so good. It was incredible. So this is not like that then, because this was really great. I loved it, but I just didn't want to go back to it again and again. Then I picked up Transistor. I played that for 2 hours. I put that game down. That game's horrible, very boring.
I loved it. We disagree on that, but that's okay.
I never finished it. I never did.
Why didn't you finish it, Douglas? Because it was boring and you uninstalled it?
No, because I started playing Final Fantasy 14.
Oh man, it's so boring. Like I love Supergiant Games. They had the Bastion was awesome, you know, and what was I can't even think of the other game now.
Transistor.
No. After that,
I didn't like their third one. I didn't like.
Well, I can't remember the name of it right now either. But they have a great story. Bastion was great. That put them on the globe. Just Transistor, I just can't get into it. The combat's just very boring to me. It's lagging. It's lacking a lot, if you ask me. Yeah, you can put different things together and make different combos. No, thank you. So I'm not playing that anymore. And now I've just got into Darkest Dungeon. I can't report much because I've only got a couple missions into that. That'll be on hopefully Saturday. I'll be talking more about Darkest Dungeon.
I was a big Darkest Dungeon fan. I played it for a while, but then I stopped. Just hearing you play it again, I might want to go back to it just so that we have something to kind of talk about and kind of share things, about it. Some strategies. That'd be cool.
I have never played it. It was a game that multiple people have suggested to me, and then I'd look at the game and I'm like, I'm not interested in this. You know?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, I'm not really going to be into this. Let me just check it out because I heard about it. But it's one of those games you look at and you're like, this looks like cheese. And then you actually start playing. It's like, okay, I really like the mechanics. I'm liking what's going on here. It's cool. It's roguelike-ish. Your characters die and they die. You can level them up and then they die and you lose all that. That's kind of fun. I just don't like the whole stress thing, but I'll talk about that another day. But it's a fun game. It is definitely worth looking at besides just the way it looks,
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. What else you got?
I'm done.
Oh, you're all done? You're all done? Okay. So for me, been playing a couple different things. You guys know I'm the video game person here. I don't play too much board. I've been playing some kiddie board games with Liara, and it's actually really fun.
Cool.
Liara is leveling up her video gaming to extreme levels at her age, to where there's a game, if anybody wants to play it with their children, it's called River Bond. It is on Xbox Game Pass, and it's if not, it's very cheap. It's just like a voxel art style Zelda game that's more action, like top-down isometric view. Really, really fun, really cool to play with a kid. It's super simple controls. You go around, each level's like find the 6 chicken eggs, rescue these 3 guys. You know what I mean?
2 players?
4 players.
Oh, so you're actually playing with her, not just sitting there helping her? Okay.
Yeah. So she does play along, and she absolutely loves it. If I brought her in and said, what's your favorite game, she would say River Bond. She loves the game so much. For myself, I have been playing, I quit Gears 5 for a while. I don't like the modes. It kind of started to bore me. Then Samurai Shodown is what I've actually been doing my 2 streams of every week. I've actually been streaming music production stuff too. I figured out my setup to where I could stream live music production.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what? I checked that out last week or this week. I checked out one. Okay. Actually, pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is really fun to do. to come up with ideas like on the fly, you know what I'm saying, and like put stuff together. Then I've been playing Samurai Shodown. I soft retired from Street Fighter. I think Samurai Shodown is a much better game. It's a little slower. It's not so aggressive, but the thing that people don't like about it to an extent is like you could get punished and lose 80% of your health. Like think of if you do a Shoryuken in Street Fighter, right? And you miss, you're gonna get punished because you left yourself open. But in this game, it's like if you do that super special, you only get one per game, but like, don't do it if you think you're gonna miss. You know what I mean? I love the game so much, so that's what I've been playing for fighters. Then I started a game that's very controversial recently, and that is Death Stranding. Death Stranding to me is a game that I can totally play and realize that, you know what? Someone's not into this. You're like, ready? You're a delivery guy in a pandemic. Okay? So, like, that's super relevant today. Either way, though, it's just like, it's not just like holding forward. You have to balance your dude's cargo on him. And if you're like walking, he'll almost always start to teeter. So you are game playing while you're doing these deliveries.
It sounds exciting, right, Chris? Right. It sounds exciting, and it's a really hard sell.
It is a hard sell.
When you play it, right, Doug, it's like this weird feeling and this weird accomplishment, right?
It makes you feel like
imagine doing something else.
No, it's like imagine really if you were the guy who like, yo man, my cousin lives across town and you have to walk this bag full of medicine to him in a blizzard. Like you're the only guy I can depend on to do this. Like how good would you feel? You know what I mean?
Doug, you haven't gotten to the blizzard yet, have you?
I've just beat the first big BT.
Okay.
That's okay. So like it's great. The story, and so here's another problem that people would have with it is that people need something to be grounded in a little more realism and not so weird. It is very weird, but I'm the type of person that can play a game and be like, this is the world that they live in. Okay?
Right.
This is just the reality of the world that they live in. Yes, a lot of it makes absolutely no sense. It's not even just like, you know, the ghost people are here. It's like the ghost people are here. The baby can detect them for some reason. It's like all this crazy stuff, right? But I find that stuff interesting as hell and makes me want to know more about it.
Well, Doug, let me comment on that. You know, a few minutes ago, Chris was telling us about Chasm, a Metroidvania game with nothing special, right?
Right.
What are the reviews on that? That didn't get all controversial, but yet here we have this game. So polarizing because you just deliver stuff, the story's wacky, but you know what? It's something different. And we've played video games for so long. Yeah, there's certain genres that I like over others. I'll play the next Zelda game, that's fine. But like to find something so unique like this, that's what draws my attention. I want to put a lot of my time into it because it's a brand new experience. That's what I like.
It's because Kojima made this. Kojima is what's if he
definitely helped
on this project, no one would really care about it.
If the same game came out without Kojima, the same exact game, it would be harder for people to try it. But then I think people would get into it. I'm not a huge Kojima fan. I never finished a single Metal Gear game, but I heard about it because of his name. I know his story, and I wanted to try something wacky. And I put some time into it, and I wanted to go down that path, but it's not for everybody.
It isn't. It is definitely not. I personally, right now, I think it's fantastic. Some of the interface stuff is way too heavy, I think, like the way the menus look, trying to figure out what you're looking at. But you get used to it, and you find out really it doesn't even mean anything.
Doesn't matter.
You just click continue. You know what I mean?
You know, like auto put on my back.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yes, please. Right. So I'm finding it fantastic, but I get why people may not enjoy it. It's a little crazy. Next, I've been playing with Matt. I've been playing Nioh 2. We've been playing that a lot, and Nioh 2 is great because it's Nioh again. It's the same, and that's a good and bad thing for me because Dark Souls, like from Demon to Dark Souls, was huge. Dark Souls 2, not so much, but from Dark Souls 2 to Dark Souls 3 was huge. It was a huge update, just the way it looked, it played. So Neo is like an expansion. You know what I mean? Same type of game. Yeah, it's like a same type of game in different areas. But that's not necessarily a bad thing too, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Besides that stuff, I stopped playing Phantasy Star Online 2 is out in America, and I love it. I've been waiting for so long. It is a hard sell to people because of how it looks, but the reason why I like it so much is just because it's a RPG without too much depth, and the combat is fantastic. All right, so you go into a world, combat's fast-paced, all real-time stuff. Think like a crappy Devil May Cry speed kind of combat, which if you put crappy Devil May Cry in an RPG, that's kind of good. You know what I mean? So I like that game a lot. Great gameplay, terrible menu stuff. So much menu stuff.
Comparable to the Dreamcast version?
No way. Well, yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no.
That was great. That was great.
Yes, in the fact that, yes, in the look. Yes, in the enemies.
Okay.
No, in the combat speed, because Dreamcast was like wow, 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 wow. This is like you can time your attacks, but this is like bam, 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 pop them up, shoot, jump up, hit, slam them down, bow and arrow, like all types of like super crazy combat stuff. So I am enjoying that. I don't get to play it as much as I like. Liara now is about 3.5. She is demanding a lot of our attention. So this is like, what am I playing with her now? You know, she likes to watch. She likes to do volleyball stuff because we've been watching. I'll switch over to watching because that's pretty much the end of my gaming stuff. Switch over to watching, which actually one more game. Red Rope Don't Fall Behind. I mentioned this a long time ago. I started playing it with Fran's brother. Red Rope Don't Fall Behind is the absolute greatest co-op experience ever made, without a doubt, and everyone with a good friend who plays games has to play this game and beat it. Okay? If you beat the game, they put you in the game. That's how hard it is. It is a game where you have to navigate a labyrinth full of traps and stuff while you're tied to your partner in a red rope. All 8-bit style graphics. As you kill guys, your red rope gets bigger, so you have more room to move around, right? Starts out pretty simple. You just have to run through guys, and some guys you have to wrap up with the rope. And it seems so hard at first, okay? It seems so hard. And the way the labyrinth is set up is you go, and as you go through a section, you earn keys. That opens up the next difficulty. Then you go and earn those keys to get to the next difficulty, then the boss. And you do that in different parts of the labyrinth. It is... some of the puzzles are super unique and just some require timing, some require thinking, some require 100% execution and dexterity. And that's what makes it so good is looking at a room being like, I thought what we just did 20 minutes ago was impossible. What is this? Like, wow. I can't believe this. And you start out with 100 lives and you can buy lives as you go. And it took me and Matt first time 16 hours to beat it with no pause time. No pause time. And everyone should play this game. It's usually on sale for about $8. If you have a co-op partner, like I said, you gotta try this game. If you're not the type of person that gets frustrated.
Okay.
If you're that kind of person, you can't do it.
You said that if you beat it, you get put into the game. How does that work?
So you send them a photo of you after you beat it. Like me and Matt are in the game. It's awesome. Okay. So that's actually the avatar I use for Twitch. But you send them a photo and their artist will pixel graphic you and put you as a character in the game to talk to.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's like partially why I wanted to beat it, but also because it seemed interesting. And it starts out seeming mundane, and then it just, as the world opens up and you understand what you need to do, it just becomes the most amazing experience. Like, we were upset it was over. It was so good. Like, man, we finally beat it, but damn, we don't get to play this anymore.
That's interesting.
On to watching. I'm not a big watcher. Me and Fran are watching Haikyuu when we sit down and watch together, which is a volleyball anime. I like it a lot. It's good. Something to sit down and watch. The last thing I really sat down and got into was The Witcher. And besides that, I can't think of anything that I've really watched and loved and enjoyed. I mean, I'm just not a watcher. So that's tough for me.
As someone who, I want to wrap your watching and your gaming, we've been getting a lot of hits on your VR how-to video that you made.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I posted that on Reddit a couple, I don't know, like last year when you first made that, and like the VR channel there. And just all of a sudden now we're getting a lot of people coming and saying, wow, this is a really easy thing to do. Why did no one else think of this,
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the gun stock?
Yeah. Everyone's like, holy crap, I never thought of this. This is the greatest idea,
So what's funny about that is that everybody buys these like $150 gun stocks that look nice. But it's like if you have a headset on, who cares what it looks like? It doesn't matter. Does it get the job done? And that thing works. It's funny. I haven't used it in a while, but okay. Last one, promise. I played through the entire Half-Life series to prepare for Half-Life Alyx. Okay. And I've actually kind of not been doing any VR because I'm disappointed in it right now. I really am. Games that come out are indie games, but they're not good. Lack polish, glitchy, no content. Just like everything that you wish you could get in a game. Right. Everything you wish you can get in a game, you don't get. There's a couple games that I'll go back to. Rec Room, which is a free game, which I think is the best game besides Elite Dangerous, but that's not like a VR game. That's a game that supports VR. It's different, When you have a game that is not made for VR, but they add it later, it has all the content and polish of a standard game, right? Like Project Cars, stuff like that. And you get a made for VR game, they usually are very crappy. They just are. Half-Life Alyx is what you want every game to VR be. It is so incredible to play this. I don't know if you guys played Half-Life. Either of you guys do Half-Life?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I just did them all. And I cried at the end of Half-Life Episode 2. Total dad moment cry. So I play Half-Life Alyx. Well, Half-Life, you get the gravity gun. But in Half-Life Alyx, you get gravity gloves. So you are reaching. So you point to something, you trigger, and you whip it towards you. And you catch it. That's pretty cool. So like you sit there and it's funny because you're trying to kind of learn it, but then after 10 minutes you're running around just there's a thing, there's a thing, there's a thing, and like as enemies come, you're just like, oh, gas can from off the roof, bam, this and it just becomes they did a terrific job, and because now I'm invested in the Half-Life universe because I really wanted to play them all. I know Half-Life is a super prestigious shooter series, and after playing them, I totally get it, actually. Even playing them now for the first time. There's no way, because the first thing in Half-Life Alyx, when you open your eyes, you're on a balcony, and you are looking at the tower, right? The big tower. So it's like, how could people possibly play this and have any sort of weight? Looking at the striders, the tower, seeing the enemies, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think it's insane that people would not play the series and then play Alyx, but it is also the greatest VR game ever created, bar none. And if all VR was as good as this, it would be in a much better place. Wow. That's it. So that's what I've been doing, and that's really it, man. Like I said, Liara's older now, so got to play stuff with her. She wants to play Daddy's old games, so we've been playing Sonic 2, and I've been Tails, like trying to help her along.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
That type of stuff is pretty incredible, man. It's pretty incredible. How old's Xander? Xander's he's getting there. Yeah, so he's getting there.
You see this couch behind me? Him playing games is him running around it and me chasing him for 45 minutes. Yeah, that is our Sonic and Tails.
Right, that is not mine at all. Thankfully, we'll go out for walks and stuff. She likes to just go outside and take walks, go on the slide, easy stuff. But she's not a run around her. Every once in a while, I'll get her riled up, But besides that, that is it, man. That is what I've been doing during this. My life personally, something I just wanted to touch on because people live different lives. My life personally hasn't changed much during this whole thing. Besides not being able to go to Corey's and play games, besides not being able to go out to eat, I like to go out to eat. That's like my thing. But I realized that some people go out to casinos or clubs or dancing, drinking every weekend. And, you know, it's interesting to have that outlook when you know somebody who did that kind of stuff to how much their life changed right now. Because that's what they enjoy. It's like, imagine if, for us, if the internet was gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Imagine if the internet, Steam, Xbox Live, if all that stuff was rendered useless tomorrow for like 3 months. That would be like what would be my situation for them. Like everything that they enjoy doing is they can't do it. And that sucks. And I think this whole situation right now actually does suck pretty bad. But hopefully it'll be over soon so we can all come play board games together.
Yes, we got a kingdom to rule.
We have a kingdom to decide people's fates.
Now, are there dice in this kingdom game?
No.
Okay. I was trying to segue into a little alibi I had. I've been receiving packages in the mail.
Yeah.
From Jeff Bezos, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, and then today I just got another package from the YouTube superstar PewDiePie, Felix, whatever his last name is.
We don't talk about PewDiePie here.
Yeah, he happened to send us a 100-sided die.
Yo.
I wish I had it on me. I wish I would have brought it in here. So now we have to play a game that requires a 100-sided die.
We got to do it.
Oh, boy. That's crazy.
So I just want to say thank you to Felix, to Governor Murphy, and to Jeff Bezos for sending the packages. I can't wait to play with them.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I have no idea who sent them. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. I'm really glad we got together and do this. You know, we don't see each other much right now. So just getting together and do this is really great. And I'm definitely looking forward to next week so we can actually get together and play some video games.
Saturday, May 2nd, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, let's do it. I am down for that. So you guys have anything else? You guys all set?
I'm ready.
I'm all set.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that everyone is doing okay. And we'll see you guys Saturday, May 2nd at 10 p.m. Peace.